If you are preparing for the PMP exam in 2026, then let me tell you one thing. The game has already changed by PMI. Now, what do I mean by that? There are two sets of people. Set number one are the people who are giving the exam before July 1st, 2026. So this is for them. Please give the exam before July 1st. What I have seen traditionally from my past experience is that whenever the PMP exam changes, there is a lot of confusion in the market, both from the teacher, the mentor's perspective, and also from the student's perspective. Why? Because the mentors don't know how the new exam would be, right? So they cannot give a predictable feedback to student. Second, the student does not know. Student is just trying his or her luck and giving the exam. So most of the people actually go ahead and fail the exam because of this confusion, right? So first of all, give the exam before the exam changes to avoid this uncertainty in life. I don't like uncertainties, and so that's what I would recommend. Second, if you are watching this video after July 1st, 2026, then let me tell you, the game has already changed. PMI has made a lot of changes in the new version. Now, what do I mean by that? Initially, in PMBOK 7th edition, there was no focus on processes, but I'm getting my PMBOK again. But in PMBOK 8th edition, PMI has introduced the processes back. So the processes are back. But what is more important to learn from a processes perspective is that don't focus on learning a process or learning the input, tools, and output of the process. It should not be about what. It should be about why. What do I mean by that? Let me just keep my book. What is the input to this process? What is the output? Don't learn like that. Instead, you should learn why this is an input, why this is an output. So why is more important than what? First thing. Second, if you are focusing on maths, then let me tell you one thing. Maths is no longer important. The return on investment on maths is not that much. What do I mean by that is, initially, the questions on maths were like, the amount of time we spend on learning maths is just too much as compared to the number of questions which will come in the PMP exam. So it's not going to make or break your situation from passing or failing the exam. So stop worrying about maths. If maths is not your cup of tea, ignore it completely. Okay. Now I will be telling you 3 strategies which are very, very important for you to give the PMP exam. And the third one is my most favorite, which I will let you know in some time, but I'll start one by one. Strategy number 1, the business environment shift. Now, what do I mean by that? Initially, only 8% of the PMP exam was coming from business environment domain. Now, it has increased to 26%. And 26%, it's like more than 1/4 of your exam is coming from business environment. So it is like a game changer. Now, what do I mean from a data perspective? Now you will have 185 questions as compared to 180 questions, and 26% of questions are coming from business environment. Now, let me give you an example. You are a project manager, ABC thing happened. What will you do next? Let's say you got this scenario-based question. Option A, work on the project schedule. Option number B, check the business impact. Now, the answer to this question will be option B, which is about checking the business impact and not the project impact. So they are changing the paradigm completely, moving to the overall organization strategy. You will have questions on organization strategy. You will have question on compliance. Compliance, very, very important. You will get questions on return on investment. So these all are very important topics in the new PMP exam. Strategy number 2, the AI integrated shift. Now, what do I mean by that? Let me get my PMBOK. AI integrated shift. Now, if you see from your PMBOK, if I go to the table of contents, in Appendix A3, you have your AI, artificial intelligence. So PMI also is not shying away from adapting AI, and that's actually a very good thing. You will get questions in the exam on AI, like how you use AI to forecast, how you use AI to identify your risk. Initially, you were doing probably in some kind of manually or some kind of Excel format, but now you are using AI to integrate to these things. So AI shift is very, very important. And third, and my most favorite, is your elimination technique. I call this as Wun Special. Now, typically what happens is that we go for the answer choice. Like we read a question and we say that, hey, option number C is correct. Okay. Then we mark it and we move on. What is the probability of selecting the right answer if you just go and selected option C out of 4 choices? It's 25%. Why? Because you have 4 answer choices. But what if I tell you, you use an elimination technique where you say that, hey, option A is good, option B is better, option C is best, and option D is like totally wrong answer choice. So what happened is, now instead of selecting from 4 choices, you're actually selecting from 2 answer choices, which is better and best. So you have reduced from 4 answer choices to 2 answer choices, and your probability has doubled from 25 to 50%. Trust me, this is the difference between why somebody fails the exam and why someone passes the exam, because they use this elimination technique, Wun Special. Now, most of the students which come to us are the students who have failed the PMP exam in their first attempt. They took some training from some source and they come to us. The first thing I really understand is why they failed the exam. Mostly what I have seen is that these people, they have been studying from last 8 months. They went for some cheap course, typically the mindset. And because it was a cheap course, they did not put that effort, like, of course, personal life, professional life. It took them 8 months to do something. More than the cost, what is more important is that you took 8 months of your time to study for something which is not a rocket science. Trust me. So what I tell my student is that, first of all, we need to have an integrated strategy for 30 days. If you really study diligently for 1 to 2 hours a day, and that too consistently with the momentum for 30 days, you can pass this exam. PMP exam is not difficult. All you need is a right strategy, and that's it. So if you're interested to know more about my course, which is all about storytelling, all about using your project, which you are using in your organization, use that as a case study to learn for the PMP exam, then not just you will pass the PMP exam, you will actually become a better project manager. And that's what I wanted to train you on. So send me an email at varun.anand@eduhubspot.com. I reply to each and every email. And one request, do like this video if you find it valuable, and most importantly, let me know in the comments what is the next video you would like me to talk about, and I will be coming up with all the data and facts and make sure you learn something valuable. Stay unstoppable, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.